Hey YouTube, Hassan here. I'm going to be doing a video blog. In these blogs I'll be doing film reviews. I should have started it last week. Alright, today I'm going to be reviewing Iron Man. The Iron Man series. Today I'm going to do the first Iron Man. Alright, Iron Man is about this guy called Tony Stark, who's a billionaire. He took over his father's company, who runs a explosive weapons company to make weapons for terrorists. In the story, Tony Stark is gone somewhere to test out the latest weapon from his company, and then something happens to him. He gets kidnapped by his terrorists. What he doesn't know until he wakes up is that in the middle of his chest he has like a hole, meaning the only thing keeping him alive is this crystallized thing in the middle, making him stay alive. So in that cave where he is, he meets this doctor who provides him with that thing in the middle, and then the terrorists, they make Tony and that doctor make weapons. But Tony agrees, but what they don't know is that he asked the doctor's help to help create the first Iron Man suit. So they do, and then he makes the terrorists find out about it, so then he kills them, and then goes back, but the suit's badly damaged, and then eventually he gets rescued and he's really not really hyper, but dehydrated, so he gets a hamburger and is kind of drunk kind of thing, messes up at the conference, and then the next day downstairs at his mansion he tries to take out something, so he asks his assistant Pepper Potts to take out something. She takes out the thing in the middle and then puts the crystal back in. So then he gets given a gift by Pepper, which is the same thing as a backup. So then the guy who worked with his father goes back to terrorists, but finds out that, as an audience, we find out that he's actually working with him. So what happens is he then kills the terrorists, and then Tony finds out that the terrorists, before he kills them, the day before, Tony finds out about them guys holding these innocent people captive, so he invents an Iron Man suit. First, he tests it out in the sky, but it doesn't work, so then he redesigns it, and then he goes and he makes a proper Iron Man suit and kills the guys, and as he's flying, the military, where his friend, Rhodey, he finds out about Tony, the Iron Man suit. He doesn't know that Tony is inside it until he actually rings him, making an excuse, and eventually he finds out. And then the next day, the guy pretends to be works with Tony's father, sorry. Yeah, he actually kills a terrorist and tries to find the first Iron Man suit, try and use that to try and kill Tony or something, try and take over the world, if you will. So then the next day, Tony eventually meets up with that guy, but only to find out that his thing's been taken, while at the same time Tony actually but in the morning he sent Pepper to look up files or something, yeah, and then that night he gets his heart thing in the middle, if you will, that's his life force, taken away by that guy who, as it turns out, was a traitor, so he does have it taken away. And he goes down to his lab, almost dying. Luckily, downstairs, his robot, who he can trust, helps him get the gift that Pepper gave him. So then Tony does get a thing, but also with the help of Rhodey, who comes in and then helps Tony into the suit now as well. Tony goes saves Pepper and everyone, and then he fights that guy who found out his name's Obadiah or something like that, who, as it turns out, has got Tony's first suit, and he's now using that to try and take over the world. So Tony, as Iron Man, which is the name he gave himself, and he likes it, he fights the guys, he fights Obadiah in that suit, and eventually kills him. And the next day is a peace conference. Also, we meet for the first time, I forgot to mention, we meet as the audience, we meet the guy from S.H.I.E.L.D., meaning director Nick Fury's assistant, if you will. But I forgot his name. There's a guy who actually formed the Avengers, but I'll get onto that later, even though I said that in the first video. Yeah, you meet him again, he decides to just shorten the name, instead of calling it what it's called, decide to call it S.H.I.E.L.D., which is an easier name for it. Then at the conference, Tony wants to lie about it, about the attack, but he says, you know what, I'm just going to tell the truth. So he does. He decides to say, I'm Iron Man, because he can't lie anymore. At the end. What I liked about it is that action, a good comedy from Robert Downey Jr., who plays Tony Stark, which I liked, and I like Robert Downey Jr., he's a funny guy, and he had great chemistry between him and Pepper, even though she's his assistant, but still. We also get introduction to how Tony actually started to become the Iron Man, how the Iron Man actually started, and what's the use of that thing in the middle, how he actually got it. And we get an insight of how his suits are built and everything, and also get introduced to, and I liked how we got introduced to the guy from S.H.I.E.L.D., which is, even though it was a guest appearance, but it's good. And what I didn't like about it was, for the fact, I don't know really, but I guess, I'm not really sure, but I guess I didn't like how Obadiah, who was Tony's father's close friend, and was trusted to look after Tony, how he betrayed him, how he ended up becoming a traitor, working with the terrorists. He only cared about the money and wanted fame and stuff like that. I didn't like that. And I guess as well, I didn't like how Rhodey, how he had to lie to his team and everything. But it was good, but I wanted to also see at the end Rhodey becoming like an Iron Maiden, if you will, which we'll find out in the second film. And I'm sorry for the spoilers for that bit, but I'll tell you that in the next video. Now, for my overall review for this film, is I'll give it 7 out of 10. So thank you for watching, guys. And so remember, leave your comments at the end of this video. Remember to leave a comment at the bottom, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.